Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're talking pre-foreclosures, how to get them, how to talk with them so that you can make more sales. I'm talking with top producing realtor and certified mentor, Carla Johnson. Check it out. And we're going to share a couple of tips of how you can find, because that's what we do, to help you guys find additional sellers that may be in trouble, right, CJ, and behind on mortgage payments. But not sure if you want to share a little bit about, some of the clients that you've currently been working with that are behind, and how you've helped them not go into foreclosure.
Well, yeah, we just had a property in Terrell that we contracted and are scheduled to close. We actually closed on Monday, and waiting still for funding. But they had a sale date of the first Tuesday in June, and
Yep.
it's unfortunate that it got that far, but it's a good thing that we were able to reach out. And what was interesting about this transaction is that the listing agent, wasn't familiar with how to work with foreclosures. It was
Mm-hmm.
first time. So I think that really, if we hadn't come across them, they probably would have lost the
Yep.
house.
In the event that you're not familiar with the whole pre-foreclosure process, pre-foreclosure is a house can be considered a pre-foreclosure as soon as they're missed a mortgage payments, right? So and we know that there have been a number of homeowners over the last couple of years that have not been able to pay their mortgage payment because of COVID, because of how the economy and the world has been impacted. So it says a more narrow definition of pre-foreclosure stage would be the point between the notice of default or lis pendens and the auction or trustee sale. So this period might last from a couple of months to a year or more, and it will, depending on the state. So each state can be different when it comes to the whole pre-foreclosure process. You have some states that do not play, and they will foreclose upon you real quick, 3 to 6 months.
And Texas
And
is one of them.
Texas is one of them, and that's where we are. You're exactly right. But there are ways that you can pause and stop the pre-foreclosure, and one is is having an executed contract with the buyer and having the buyer in place, right, Carla?
Right. And before that, I always recommend that you get a letter of, what's it called? It's a letter to talk to the mortgage company from the seller.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an authorization letter or something
Yeah,
like that.
authorization,
And
right.
it can be from the website of their mortgage company, or it can just be a written letter that they sign and said, I give authorization to my realtor. And actually, if you're in Texas, there is a form in zip forms that you can use. That is very important because, like in this transaction, the listing agent really was out of the loop. They depended on the seller to give them updates and tell them what's going on. And a lot of times, your sellers, they haven't really probably been taking care of business with the mortgage company, and that's why they're in the situation they're in. So
Right.
you want to let them know, yep, I can help you. Don't worry about it. I can take care of everything, but I'm going to need to get a letter of authorization to speak with your mortgage lender. It makes it much easier if you do that first, and then you want to get an executed contract.
Absolutely. You're so right. So getting that authorization so that you can speak on the behalf of the seller is critical. Because you never know the situation or the scenario, what's going on with the seller. So you may have a seller that's ill. You may have a seller that's not able to talk or not willing to talk or
Or just don't
just
know how to talk.
stressed out.
The
Yeah,
mortgage company, those
right,
folks, they're not the friendliest people. They're not the easiest people to talk to. We
right.
worked with them. We worked in Las
Hmm.
Vegas for Countrywide, so we
We
know.
sure did. That's where
Um,
we met. So
right. So, lifting that burden off the seller is helpful, and they will want to work with you if they feel like you can handle the situation. So, and you can. If
yeah.
you have any questions about a short sale, or you find that you're working with a seller that they're upside down or going into foreclosure, please send us a message and let us know. Don't lose that lead, and don't allow that seller to lose that house.
Absolutely. So we do have someone that posted, the seller is trying to sell before foreclosure, right? That's correct.
Yeah, in this case, the seller was need to sell before the sale date. They
Yeah,
had a
that's
sale date of January 6th, I think it was.
right. That's Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly, great question.
Seven.
So
January 7th or
Yes,
June
that's
7th.
correct.
Sorry.
June 7th. Okay. So yes, before the foreclosure date is when you typically want to get the house sold.
That's right.
So that's when you want to be able to take action.
Right.
And again,
But if,
understanding what to do in the process is critical to being able to help the seller if the seller is your client. In this situation with this lead, Carla's representing the buyer. So Carla's been helping
the
the
listing agent,
yeah the listing agent. Yeah, go ahead, CJ.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I represent the buyer, and then I found out from the listing agent that the home was in foreclosure and had a sale date. And really, you want to, that's something you want to put in MLS so that you can let buyers know that it'll bring those cash buyers out. But anyway, it worked out. It definitely worked out. And but a lot of agents, you don't know how to work with that type of scenario, and it's not easy. Short sales they can take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They can take up to a year. And so a lot of people don't want to work them. They don't want to take the time to do that. You have to call the mortgage company every day. Poor guy. I was texting him every day saying, "Have you talked to the mortgage company? Can we get an update?" Title company was asking. He
Right.
really had a lot on his plate, and it was tough for him, but he made it through. It was his first foreclosure that he saved, and we closed it. So we have
Yep.
another question, looks like.
Yep. We do. Can we pull a list from MLS pre foreclosures?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think there's any way to pull a list of foreclosures from.
Not in Texas anyway, but we do have a list of resources. Tip, if you want to get a list of pre-foreclosures, you can visit PropStream. There we go, PropStream. So you can get a list of pre-foreclosure leads in your particular area, city, wherever you represent from PropStream. And I will have that link provided above where you can do that. So,
Yep, you can
and
use PropStream or you can use
mhm,
RedX,
yep,
REDX, and
let me
they
put that in
have
here.
a list that you can pull. And RedX, they really have a good list too. PropStream has a good list too. We've used both of those.
We use both of those. I'm actually looking for the
A
link
great
right now
way
for PropStream.
to attract a seller who is in foreclosure is your social media. It's a great way. People are who are in foreclosure are on Facebook and they're searching. They're on the social media. If you do a live and talk about that process, talk about how the mortgage companies will work with them. They just need some help, and working with a realtor is a good way to do that because they see that okay, if you work with a realtor, that you're serious because we're not going to waste our time.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times they're willing to work with us, and they're not as easily able to work with the seller.
Absolutely. So that's great information. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that tipped help as well. We got some folks jumping on. Hey, Kathy. Hey, fam. What's going on? Good to see you.
Hey,
Hey, Abby. Thank you so much for jumping on. So, guys, we're just kind of sharing, talking about pre foreclosures. We're seeing more and more sellers, every
we're getting
week
more seller
will be
leads.
less. Yep. We're getting those clients. We're getting those sellers that's like, hey, I'm behind. I need to do something because the mortgage company is saying, if you don't pay, you're going to lose the house. So we have more people that don't want to lose the house. So we just kind
Well,
of, mhm,
what's
go
funny
ahead.
is you said that they will say, "I'm behind and I won't lose my house." What's
Right.
funny is that that's not even they don't even say that. When you talk to sellers, they'll talk to you like nothing's going on. I just want to know the value of my house. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, great. Let me, you pull a home value report and you do your normal stuff. And then when you meet them there is when you start finding out more stuff. When
Hmm.
you're like, well, they sent me a notice. Oh, really? What notice did you get? You have to
Yeah.
ask questions
You have
because
to
they won't come
ask.
out and tell you.
Yes.
They won't come out and tell you. They will not. Then you have to ask, are you in for, do you have a sale date? They won't come out. They won't tell you, but you do have to ask those questions.
You have to ask those questions. That is so true. So, in other words, guys, sellers lie. So, they can be liars and just kind of get used to that. But I think it's for different reasons.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time it's pride. I think a
Mhm.
lot of times they're hurt, embarrassment, frustration. It's a combination of all of that because you're dealing with one of the most important and probably most expensive assets that we'll ever buy is our home. So when that's in jeopardy, when there's issues, it's really difficult to kind of talk about it and to really share. But one thing about it is whatever's going on with that house, it's going to come out anyway. Whether it's through the title company when they pull title and they see that taxes haven't been paid, or it's going to come out anyway. So you just have to understand that sellers may sometimes not tell you everything that's going on, and you're just going to have to continue to, ask them questions. I know, Carla, you've gotten really good at being able to answer questions from a different angle, and also to get them comfortable. No like and trust factor, get them comfortable with talking to you and really kind of sharing all that's going on, right?
That's right. It's very true.
So Jennifer said, is it a time frame the house has to be sold, or does it depend on their lender? Good question.
If they're in foreclosure, if they have a sale date, it has to be sold before the sale date. Um, but if they're in foreclosure, they typically have a date on their notice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just a sale date really that you want to be concerned about. But if they're in foreclosure with no sale date, then usually you have some time to go ahead and put it on the market and get it sold. But you always want to contact the mortgage lender and let them know that you're their realtor. You're working with them now to get the home sold, so that way they know that something's being done.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't let them know and put it on the market, then they will assign a sale date. And here in Texas, it's the first Tuesday of every month. So if you miss this Tuesday, then you know it's not going to be sold until the next, July. They won't get a sale date probably until July, the first Tuesday. So definitely know the dates in your market, in your area, on when they go up for auction.
Great information. Great questions, guys. If y'all have any more questions, please post them below.
And that's going to be my next video. I'm putting it together or my next live,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can talk about foreclosures and the process. A lot of people think they have time, and 90 days goes by really quick.
Real
It
quick.
really does, especially if you're stressed about money and finances. Before you know it, they've got a sale date posted. And so one of my lives coming up is going to be just talking about that process, and encouraging sellers to grab the equity that's in your home. Don't lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a great topic for a live or a video if you're wanting to do one.
Another question. Yep, we got another question. Awesome. Are you helping the seller find a new home too?
So in this situation, I'm not, because I represent the buyer. But when my client, who is the seller, needs to find a place, I do find them another home. It's either another home, but if they're in foreclosure, they're not going to be able to buy a house. So usually it's like a home to rent.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can check out PropStream. It's a fantastic site. So not only can you pull a list of pre-foreclosures in your area, in your target market area, but I think they have vacant properties. They have properties where you're behind on taxes. So there's like over 6 or 7 different type of seller leads where there is some type of motivation to those sellers that you can pull. So definitely check out that particular link. CJ, I didn't know if you wanted to share anything else concerning this particular client that we're working with, the agent, the seller's agent that you're helping. Seems like he's been learning a lot during this process as well, right?
He definitely has. He has. And if you find yourself representing the seller, because I've worked with a lot of sellers who have been in foreclosure, um, you can never call the mortgage company enough every day, and write down. You have to keep a log, and you write down every time you talk to them, who you talked to, and what they told you. So there's a lot more to it, but like Lo said, if you have any questions or you're working with someone who is in foreclosure, please let us know. We'll help you, through the process. Or if you are someone who doesn't want to even work with them, send them our way. We'll, don't lose that deal. You can get a referral out of it, if anything. But
Absolutely.
but a lot of people, a lot of sellers right now, I don't think they understand that they
Hmm.
will lose their house, and by the time they come around, there's a sale date, and that's really hard when there's a sale date. You can do it. You can stop that sale date, but it is tough to
Hmm.
do. It takes a lot of work.
And you have to know what you're doing. So, and again, that is our background. That's where we both come from in corporate America, is dealing with loss mitigation, helping homeowners find workout options so that they can keep their home when it goes into pre-foreclosure. That is Carla and I's foundation. So I think that has definitely helped us to be able to work out, these different scenarios when we talk to sellers of what's going on. We can help them because we have that experience of being able to navigate and say, okay, yep, we've dealt with this situation. Here are some options to help you or not. So go there. You can create free account. You can check it out. I think it gives you, I can't remember if it's 30 days or like 7 days, but you can try out that particular site, PropStream, for free for a trial period. But go in there and pull a list. Pull a list of pre-foreclosures in your particular target market area. Reach out to those sellers,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. And then talk about it on your social media. Talk about
Mm-hmm.
how you're helping families or folks who are in trouble gain equity out of their home and sell their home. Even though the market has shifted a little bit, they're still selling. So at least in
Absolutely.
Texas, they are.
Absolutely. Now, was this helpful? And are you interested in checking out PropStream for a free trial? If so, click the link that I've provided below this video. Thank you for stopping by and make sure to check out the next video.